Good.
Okay, more than just a box. That's the title. Slam! The paper hit the desk. I flipped the corner over and I saw a big red 91%. I was relieved. I actually did pretty well on my Chapter 6 math test. But as I was walking out the door, minding my own business, this girl named Julia Anderson comes up to me and says, I saw you on the math test. I thought Indians got good grades. She proceeds to flip her greasy blonde hair in my face and walked away. Well, Julia, two things. First, wash your hair smells horrible. And second, why did you try to shove me into a mold based on the color of my skin? And this is the problem. While our world is becoming more and more diverse, we are becoming more and more attached to the phenomenon of neatly placing everyone into a box. And the problem with that is that we all come in different shapes and sizes. So today, we will examine the problem of stereotyping by first understanding what stereotypes are, whether positive or negative, next by exploring the causes and effects of stereotypes on society, and finally, by opening our eyes to the most basic solution. So the next day, I thought about Julia and her grade, and I wondered, why was I letting it get to me so much? I mean, did her opinion matter? Nope, not really. But the thing that bothered me the most was that in the eyes of my peers, I was just another Indian kid. What I didn't know was that all these stereotypes mean nothing until you believe them. Now, a stereotype can be positive or negative. However, both can take a toll. Yeah, that's right. Even positive stereotypes are bad. Sam Killiman, a comedian and social justice advocate, tells us how positive stereotypes set the bar unrealistically high. He asks, have you ever seen a woman who wasn't caring? Or a black man who wasn't good at sports? And the answer is probably. We all have. And stereotypes have... I forgot.
Go on.
Go on, Arusha, stop.
Very well, very well done.
No, go. Continue.
It's okay. We are not timing you, so you can continue. We are not timing.
Do you want to start from now?
Yeah, stop. I forgot.
The stereotypes are bad either. Stan Kilvin said
I
that.
actually forgot.
Can't you read it off the paper or something?
Yeah. Where you have forgotten, you can start off from there, right?
Or is it...
Sam Kilvin said.
Or don't you not... Or you don't have it?
Oh, I got it.
Go ahead.
And positive stereotypes also cause immense pressure. Like, what if you're that one Indian child in your family whose brother went to MIT, sister went to Harvard, and you can barely make it through middle school? But that's totally hypothetical, of course. In society today, we have so many stereotypes. And studies show most of us believe in them from a young age. An organization known as 2020 showed a picture of a black man and a white man to several students, asking them to identify the criminal. Most pointed to the black man, claiming him to look like the FBI's most wanted. In reality, the black man was a Harvard professor, while the white man was the Oklahoma City bomber. Now, my anger at Julia showed no sign of dying down until one day I found out that she was failing Spanish. This time, I went up to her and I said, "Está bien. It's okay. You're blonde. No one expects you to do well on tests." I received a nice large pink invitation slip to the office, a long lecture from my parents, and guilt. I realized that I was no better than Julia herself. I had bought into this...
The stereotype.
I don't want to do it. Okay. I had bought into the stereotype that blondes are dumb, and one single grade had confirmed that stereotype. This psychological phenomenon, known as the confirmation bias, reinforces stereotypes. With it, one has the tendency to look for similarities between individuals in a specific group. In this day and age of the internet, it is so easy to find things that support our reasonings, but ignore conflicting evidence. This biased exposure of picking and choosing certain information causes one to develop a closed mindset. And stereotypes affect everyone, ranging from children to adults. A prime example is the gender stereotype. A propaganda supporting girl power reveals the impact of stereotypes on teenage girls. when younger girls, age 7, were asked to do a simple task posed as run like a girl, they sprinted as hard as they could, mentally replacing run like a girl with run as I would. But on the other hand, when older girls, age 14, were asked to do the exact same thing, they put on disgusted expressions and flailed their arms and legs. As girls grow up in this environment that we have created for them, they are negatively impacted by the stereotypes society has put on them. Our future generations will be made up of these same girls who lack confidence because society has deemed them inferior, weaker, simply because of their gender. And this has major repercussions, as can be seen in pay inequality. Linda Babcock, a professor at Carnegie Mellon University, tells us how she discovered in business when women negotiate salary, they ask for 30% less than what men ask for, simply because of their confidence level. And stereotypes also affect racial interactions. In a television show called Quantico, actress Yasmin Al-Masri explains how after 9/11, every single Arab man was targeted. She tells us whatever you might suspect of someone, you must remember not to accuse them unjustly, because when you do, that is when you initiate the birth of a monster. And this monster's name? Hate. It becomes, I hate you. You hate me. We are a broken society. A young American Muslim girl tells us how in her school, people have called her a terrorist and have told her that she should be deported. Confident, she responds that she was born in America. Where should she be deported to? Unfortunately, not all of us have that type of strength. This discrimination based on looks destroys an entire person's value and character. So how can we end our stereotyping obsession? As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, in the end, we remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. And when one person speaks out, it gives the courage to others to do the same. Words have the power to inspire revolutions. And if we all use that power, we can destroy our stereotype-happy culture once and for all. So after exchanging a few more offensive remarks from both Julia and I finally went up to her and said, "Hey Julia, let's end this here. Our hair color, our race, our skin color don't determine our aptitudes, our talents, or anything else about us. I'm sorry for everything I said." She looked at me wide-eyed and hugged me tightly. I was relieved. First of all, she took my advice and washed her hair. And second, I realized that she was so much more than the box I put her in. She was an individual, just like me. So today, we learned a little bit more about stereotypes, the problems they bring, their causes and effects. But most of all, we learned a solution. So today, when you step out of this room and you see just another person being put into just another stereotype, ask yourself, what are you going to do about it?
Good job.